there, savvy home buyers and sellers. This is Jeff O'Leary, the Village Guru, Mississauga real estate broker. And in today's episode, I want to talk about the real estate market since the coronavirus struck. Now, the Toronto Real Estate Board will release their market update numbers very shortly, and they're not going to look good when you take a quick look at it. And I know for a fact, just as the sun comes up every morning, the media and other people are going to have a field day with it. So instead of just seeing the numbers and taking that at face value, I'm going to preempt it, and we're actually going to look at the numbers because they're not all that bad. And in fact, what they reflect is what's typical in times like this where there's a lot of uncertainty. So without any further ado, if you're a home buyer, a home seller, or you're thinking of becoming one, you're not going to want to miss this. So let's get right into it. All right, so first off, let's just get to the bad news. And sales are down big time. In fact, if I look at the last week in Mississauga, the number has dropped over 58% from the same time last year. Now, while that's bad news, at the same time, it is completely expected in unprecedented times like we're in today. In fact, the same thing happened in 2008, and the same thing happened again just in 2017 when the government introduced the foreign home buyers tax and also started changing the rules on lending. What I find are Canadians, when change happens in real estate, we tend to freeze, take a look, and wait to see what happens, and that's perfectly okay. Okay, so now let's get to the number of new listings on the market. While not as bad as the number of sales, new listings are down 31%, which tells me a lot of sellers are choosing to hold off and wait in order to see what happens over the next couple of weeks. I myself have a number of clients that were planning on listing last week, this week, and next week that have told me, Jeff, you know what? Let's just hold off and wait and see. While a lot of people will choose to wait it out, which is fine, there are some people out there who can't afford to wait. Maybe they bought a house and it's going to close soon, so therefore they have to sell their current house in order to get the funds to close it. There are some people that have to get out there and buy or sell. So don't believe for a minute that the real estate market has stopped completely. We are just seeing the normal slowdown of the people that can afford to wait, but you are going to still see action. That's why it's important to get these numbers out there so you have a good idea of what's going on. Next, let's get into the most important question that every home buyer and seller wants to know is what's happening to prices. And I'm here to tell you, as much as I want to, there's not enough data to really tell you what's going on. Some people will say it's great because, again, they're using the wrong numbers to compare, which is 2019 numbers. However, other people will say it's really bad, and honestly, I don't think enough time has gone by to really make a snap decision. However, what I will say is when I compare last week versus the first week of February before all this corona thing happened, and I take a similar house, say a semi-detached in Mississauga, between 600 and 900,000, so we get rid of the luxury properties and we kind of keep it in that range of an affordable average house, what we're seeing is about a 0.5% decrease in selling price. That's not too bad considering sales have dropped over 50% there. So what we have are both sides slowing it down, which means it's still staying out of balance. Now, this could change over the next coming weeks, but from what I can see right now, things are holding steady, but we'll keep you updated on that. Okay, so next let's get into what to expect if you're a home buyer or seller in this market. So first off, as a seller, I'm going to say it right now, don't expect a bidding war. In fact, get used to way less showings than what would have happened 2 weeks ago. And that's because we just have less action in the market. A lot of people are choosing to stay home. However, doesn't mean you can't still sell your house. It just means you have to shift priorities. Things like 3D virtual tours, floor plans, professional photos, videos are way more important because there are serious buyers out there. We're also seeing that sellers are increasing their listing price, which is a reflection that most people have figured out that the bidding wars are over. And they don't want to price their house super low anymore in case that's the price they get. Now, if you're a buyer out there, same thing. There's less houses for sale. However, there's a heck of a lot less buyers. So when you're out there, this might be a good time if you're someone who doesn't like bidding wars or somebody who wants to have a condition on a home inspection or financing in their offer. I'm finding sellers are more likely to look at those things because if it's a good offer, then they're willing to deal with it, where maybe 2 weeks ago, you never had that chance. Now, I hate to bust it to you, but Again, when it comes to prices, if the sellers are not desperate to sell, don't expect these massive discounts in real estate prices. Negotiate your price, but base it off of facts and logic and what's going on in the market. Because you don't want to lose out on a good house, not be able to buy a house during this time, because once we see the light at the end of the tunnel and once the economy starts to go up, I'm going to tell you market forces in the GTA are going to take over, and we're probably going to see that pent-up demand all come together at once, which means back into that seller's market. So if you're a buyer and you find a good house, take advantage of it and jump on it. There you have it. I hope you liked my Mississauga real estate market update in the coronavirus era. I'll be doing these videos every week to keep you guys informed of what's going on. In the meantime, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and share it with your friends. I'm Jeff O'Leary, the Village Guru. Be safe and have yourself a great day.